Hello there, and welcome to your general weekly reading for the week beginning August 28th, 2018. This week I'll be using the Everyday Witch Tarot cards by Deborah Blake. And of course, intuiting any additional messages that are coming in from the universe and from our guides so that we can better understand the week ahead. What a week last week was. We looked at the cards last week and they told us that it was going to be an emotional week. It was a really horrible week. If I'm being completely honest, it was horrible. I haven't felt that horrible in a really long time. So if that was you as well, I apologize on behalf of the universe. I'm sorry that was such a tough time. It would have been escalated for those of you who were doing any sort of soul work at all. So any sort of meditation, if you do any sort of spiritual practice at all, it would have been elevated, I think, tenfold for those of us who were engaging in those sort of activities, because the energy that was coming in was bringing all of this stuff up to the surface that we want to clear. Then if you add in a spiritual practice that helps us clear that stuff and bring it up anyway, it just kind of doubled up on top of each other. And so the energy that was coming in was very intense, very powerful, and very aggressive. And it just kind of came in like a wrecking ball and just ripped us apart. So if that was you this week, I hope that you felt the shift that happened on Friday. I am starting to feel Friday of last week, I am starting to feel as I'm recording this that there is a slight change. So we're going back a little bit, it feels like, to the energy of last week. So we had a tiny little break on on Friday. Thursday night, it kind of started. Friday, really, there was a big shift that could be felt. And then, it kind of feels like it's going back a little bit. So keep supporting yourself in whatever way you need to. I really highly recommend, if you are feeling really raw and really tired, really emotional, having a really hard time, to spend time with people who love you and support you. Don't spend time with people who are tough love kind of people. You don't need a reality check right now. You don't need somebody to tell you that you shouldn't feel that way or to undermine your feelings at all. If you are feeling really raw and really sad at the moment, or that you're going through a lot of stuff, be sure to be with people who love you and get it and will just kind of sit with you in your stuff so that you can actually feel it and process it. And then when you start to push it a bit too far, they love you enough and you're comfortable enough with them that they can actually rein you back in and say you're going too far off that end. So be with people who really love you and who have your best interests at heart. That is the only way that you can really be around people right now, is with people that you love, because other people who push you and make you grow in those sorts of ways this week, that, the people that you have to interact with, of course, do that. But just make sure that you're spending time, that you're carving out time in your schedule to actually hang out with people who love you. Because the people that you will come in contact with that do challenge you may start to enter in your life and may start to bring you lessons that you're supposed to learn with them. And it's like they're just kind of picking at a scab. So this week I did feel like a bit of a hungry bear, and I felt like people kept poking and poking and poking me. And you don't poke a hungry bear if you don't want to get your head bitten off. So that was kind of the energy that I felt. It's the energy that I know that a lot of my clients felt. And just from being an observer in the world, a lot of people were feeling very on edge, very raw, and very hurt. So nurture yourself in whatever way you can, basically, because this week might be similar. Yes, so we're just going to get right into the cards after that. We already have some cards popping out. Just looking for the weekend card. This one. Okay. Oh, my face is so itchy today. Okay, so we have the Emperor, which is our theme for this week. So the Emperor is, of course, a major arcana card. This card represents power and fire and dominance. So this is the masculine energy that we'll be feeling this week. What this energy is also going to be bringing up for us is wounds and patterns and unresolved trauma associated with our contribution to the world. So how your actual doing, whatever you do in this world in all capacities, that will be challenged a bit this week and brought to the forefront of your focus. You can work with this energy this week if there's things that you want to bring in, if you're having trouble at work, if those people who are poking you are the people that you work with. You will feel like the emperor a little bit, and in the sense that you're going to be wanting to stand up and be a boss and kind of rule with an iron fist. So take no prisoners. You are just going to be going headstrong for what you want, and you're not going to take any crap from anybody, and you're not going to apologize for any of it. So that's a very empowering space to be in. I do caution you, though, with this energy, make sure that you're coming to a place of love, that when you are going forward and you are ruling with an iron fist, that perhaps you have a really good-hearted intention behind your actions, and that you're not actually going out and hurting people. And so by you standing up for yourself, you need to do it with love, because you need to make sure that you are not leaving people in your wake that are damaged and that you're hurting, basically, because this is a really powerful energy to harness. But we have to make sure that, because it's really powerful and can be aggressive, so you want to make sure that you don't let it go that far. This is a very predominantly masculine energy coming in. And that's kind of the energy that we felt last week, with the energy of the universe coming in and clearing out all of the stuff that we had up at the surface. It wasn't a nice, gentle, wash down. It was like surgery, like pulling stuff out of you, ripping you open, and just taking all of the crap out of you that doesn't need to be there anymore. So when we have that kind of energy, it can be really exhausting and can be really challenging to work through and to get through. So nurture yourself, because this energy doesn't always feel nurturing when it's coming in. Okay, wow, another major arcana. Not a whole lot of control this week, so I'm going to estimate that we have to surrender. So we have the Magician for Monday, Tuesday. And the Magician reminds us that we create our own reality. We can create this through our visualizations, through our actions, through the words that we use. We can decide the kind of person that we want to be, and we can change that in every single moment. If you're finding that you're going down a path that you don't really like, you do have the power to bring it back and to create something that you don't like. Create something that you do like. We don't want to create things we don't like. So with this energy as well, because this is such a powerful masculine force that we'll be dealing with this week, make sure that whatever you're creating is what you want, and that you're creating it from a place of love, because you have all of this power behind you. Just make sure that you are serving your highest and greatest good, so that whatever you are bringing into this world is something that you actually want to create. Because remember that you are very powerful, and you are a great manifester, and that you can bring in anything that you want. So just make sure that it's something good. So also a call to look at your life through a magician's lens. So if you could snap your fingers and have whatever you want, what would you do? You aren't trapped. It's time to look at those belief systems that make you believe that you are stuck. If you feel trapped by any situation in your life, that's what you need to heal first. This is very much your contribution to the world, your doing, as I've mentioned. So what is your doing? And do you feel stuck in any sort of aspect of that? And that is what you need to look at and what you need to heal this week, because that is the energy that's coming in. So make a list of all of the things that you're fearful of. For example, if you are afraid of moving because you're afraid of your new place maybe being worse off than your last place because of the work, because of the costs, all of these things, start to make a list of all the things that you're afraid of and start to dissect them. Why are they things of fear? Why not opportunities? And just dig and dig and dig until you get to the root cause. And this week, just understanding it is enough to heal it. So when we are dealing with masculine energy as well, it's not so much about the observing and just like the presence of it versus going in and actually dissecting it and analyzing it. That will be easier to do. If you aren't quite an analyzer and you just want to sit and observe, that is 100% totally fine as well. It's just that this energy will make you want to actually understand things and analyze them. It's very mental body motivation in this week's healing, if that makes sense. We have to understand it on a mental level to satisfy ourselves and to actually believe that we've healed it. We almost need to understand it on a mental level. So for midweek, we have the Hierophant, and this is another major arcana. So not a lot of control this week. So surrender to the energies at B. Try not to make yourself go crazy, because trying to change or control anything might make you go a little cuckoo. So the Hierophant is a very feminine card. I take it as you can see in the photo, she's teaching these two kids how to meditate. We're leading them through a meditation. So that is really important this week to your manifestations and through all of your soul work and soul journey this week. And do find time for meditation, because that is really going to help you. If you're just going through the motions this week and you're finding that you're being challenged and you're not allowing things to settle in and to move through you, they're just going to run you over and you're going to feel run down and extra cranky. And that's not a good place to be, especially when you're dealing with really intense energy that's already maybe going to put you on edge. So make sure that you're coming back to your spiritual practice, whatever that is. And meditation doesn't have to be sitting on a pillow for 20 minutes meditating. Meditation can be going for a walk. It can be just taking a few breaths when you have the chance. It could be listening to spa music or meditation music whenever you have the opportunity to. It can even be just taking a moment and listening to a spiritual teacher's podcast to recenter yourself. So it's just about recentering and aligning, taking time to align with yourself this week. In the middle of the week, that's going to be extra important, and you're almost going to be pushed there. So if you're finding that you are on overdrive a little bit, your emotions are a bit high and heavy, if you don't get the time to if you don't make the time to meditate, by midweek, you will be forced to almost, because you'll just want to scream. So I feel like I'm really negative in this reading, and I don't want to scare you because it's not going to be anything like what we had last week, but it's the same sort of thing. But I just want to drive home the importance of meditation, because when we are not giving ourselves time to breathe and digest information, we go into overload and we fry our nervous system, and then we don't have any energy to give to other people. We don't have any capacity to allow things to move through us, so we're just surviving and we're just on overdrive and we're frazzled, and that's when we get short and cranky, and when we make bad decisions and when we eat badly. It's because we're not giving ourselves that time to digest whatever is happening in our lives, even the crappy stuff. So meditate proactively so that it's not a reactive meditation. Yeah. Okay, so the Six of Wands is what we have on the weekends. This is our only non-major arcana, which means that you do have control on the weekend. This is a great card to have. It talks about projects coming to fruition. It means that you did something really well, and that you will receive compliments on it, and that you did something very well and you are being applauded for it. So this week, if you do want to get something off the ground, if you are working on a business or a project of some kind, or if you are making a change, I think that you're going to find some success on the weekend from it. Because we are dealing with masculine energy, like I've said, masculine energy is about doing. So what is it that you want to do in this world, and can you utilize this energy and transmute it into something that's more productive, so that you can have whatever you want, and you can create it by using this masculine force to actually proactively move forward towards your goal. Because I think this weekend is going to be a great time. You're going to see some sort of success with whatever you are doing. Anything else with this? I know that there was a few buzzwords in this reading, so one of them being proactive. So be proactive all the time, but especially this week. Think of this week almost as a formal week. So when you go into work, you have to act a certain way, and you have to do your job, and you have to do things well. So what do you need to do a good job in your life? Look at it that way. Make sure that you're prepared, pack your lunches, make sure you're getting adequate sleep, and so that you're prepared and ready for the next day. And meditate, meditate, meditate. I cannot stress that enough because it is key to a happy life, for sure. Okay, you can even turn, by the way, you can even turn exercise into meditation by just focusing on exercise or whatever it is that you're doing, not allowing yourself to wander off and think about, what should I have for dinner? And oh, I have to do all these stuff this weekend. And why is he texting that girl? You just think about the task at hand, and that is enough for you to align a little bit. When you have a one-track thought, the rest of your mind can kind of relax and open. Your spirit opens and your heart can open, so you can bring in all of those things. So we also want to elevate our energy as well. So one of those ways is exercise and eating well, but meditation is a great way to do that as well. If you meditate, you are bringing in more beautiful energy in from the universe, which does elevate you, which makes you a match for more of the things that you actually want, which is this magician is what we reminds us. You need to be a vibrational match for what you're trying to bring in. If you're looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend, are you the person that would attract the person that you are looking for? And if not, maybe now is the time to create a plan to get to that point so that you can actually bring it in. It's very work, like it takes work. That's what I keep hearing, is this week we're going to realize what we want does take work, and that we are willing to do the work. We just have to take the first few steps and bring it all into balance. And if you start believing it on the inside, it'll naturally be expressed on the outside. And the same goes the opposite way. If your house is a mess, your body and your brain is going to be a mess. So if you're feeling like your life is out of balance, work on balancing physically. Balancing plates or balancing on one foot or something like that. And that will, in turn, be a reflection on your inside. It will start to drive that response on the inside so that you can seek more balance out in your life. And that's that, I think. Very random message. I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead filled with love and doing and fantastic meditations. I hope that you have the best week ever. I'm sending you so much love. If you haven't already, please head on over to katiehunt.ca to subscribe to my email list so that you can receive special offers and insights only offered on my email list. Thank you so much for being here. I so do appreciate it. And thank you for sharing me with all of your friends. I so do appreciate it. Have an amazing week, and I'll speak with you next week.